Hello everyone, welcome to the another video on Power Automate. This is Deenuji Loganathan. If you're not subscribed, my channel, please consider to subscribe and please do like and share my videos with others so that I will get motivation to do more videos on the Power Automate. Okay, so in the today's session, we are going to see the new future generative actions. So now it is currently available in the US tenant, so let's see what it is. Okay. So this is the document from the Microsoft side about the generative actions in the cloud flows. So you can see here generative actions are the new type of action that is authored, tested, and executed through the AI runtime. Okay. So generative action can simplify and accelerate the automation process by reducing the need for specifying the action sets and the sequencing to execute it. So, as per my understanding, so in the generative actions, I would say it's a generative action flow. I would call it's a kind of flow where you can give the set of instruction. It will suggest what are the inputs and outputs for your the prompt or maybe the business goals or requirements, and what other input and output it is suggesting. You can also modify them. Then you have to pass the parameters, some sample values, then you can create the generative actions. Okay, so what is the business value of this generative action? So instead of building out the complex rule based process from the beginning to end, you work with the AI to inject intelligent activity orchestration from your cloud flow. You can create intent based generative action where the law LLM consider all the resources available to it and dynamically set the most appropriate action and sequence of this action to achieve the desired outcome. Okay, so which means you have to give some certain instruction to the generative action, and also you need to add the the relevant tool, what is required to achieve that goal. Okay, with that it will automatically orchestrate, and when it would require what connectors we have to call, something like that, then it will give the best possible outcome of your business goals. Okay, so and also if you look at here, generative actions also can adapt to change the scenarios and the data sources by leveraging the AI runtime intelligence and reasoning capabilities. Generative action can handle complex dynamic tasks that involve multiple steps, condition loop, branches, and integrations. So if you create everything in the Power Automate cloud, you have to add so many actions, connectors, and if else conditions, branches, etc. Right? But here in the generative action, you just add only the connectors and just configure some of the action. You are not going to pass any parameters, anything, and but you have to give the proper instruction. Based on that, it will understand your business goal, and it will take the best decision, with all the conditions, loop, branches, etc. That itself it take care. Okay, so how we can leverage this generative action in our real time? Okay, so I came up with some use case for that. Okay, you can see here. Let's assume some telecom customer send an email to the support team where he is facing some issues with the wipe. So this is the email you can see here. So this imaginary AI tel company where customer name is Deenuji Loganathan. He reported wipe call completely unavailable last few months. The service has been unreliable even after resetting my router and wipe device. Okay, so in the current process, manually the support team will assess the issue, and they will go and check where the customer is from. I mean, the customer database. They will check the customer city, and they also check what are the network outages. Is there any specific outages in that specific location? So based on that, they will respond to the customer and with the resolution time. Some of the cases, even some customers have not paid their bills, they forget. uh, Without knowing that, they will send an email like something is not working, ip is not working. So the first thumb rule is, customer will check the network outages. If it is not there, then they will check the payment history of that customer. If something due is there, then tell the customer to clear the due. Okay. So this is the manual process. Let's see how we can automate with the generative actions. Okay. So I will drop this email to the support team. So first, we will create the cloud flow where that flow will get the my from my id, I mean Deenuji Loganathan. Then they will try to extract the customer information, like what's the customer name and city, etc. And if you look at here, I have the data table called customer db. Here you go. So this is the customer DB. You can see here. First, we will get the customer information. I mean name, city, etc. With using the customer email ID. Okay. Come on. Okay. So once we get that email, we will get that from address, right? From by passing the from address. For example, I will pass this Deenuji at Microsoft.com. Then we will get this information: Deenuji Loganathan and customer ID and the city. Okay. So that is my first step. You can see here. So this is the flow I have created in the Power Automate Cloud. So this is my email trigger, and I have created the a prompt called fetch customer information. Okay, you can see here I just mentioned to extract the customer information like customer name and id and city using the email id. The AI hub service, it's bits slow today. That's okay, but hope you guys understand, right? I mean, I have created the AI prompt, that customized prompt, where I have mentioned extract the details, I mean customer id and the customer information you from the email id, using the email id. Then I will pass that email id as a parameter here. Okay. Okay, you can see here. So the extract the customer name, customer ID, and the customer location using email ID, and this is my email ID parameter I have created in the text format. And okay, then data used, you can see here. I have included my customer DB, in the data used, and I have included my filter condition. I mean, I enabled the email as where condition. Then I am passing the email ID so that I will get my output in the JSON format. So if you look at here, I have mentioned the JSON format. Okay, so I am passing Deenuji at the rate that my mail ID. Then we will get this as a output from this fetch customer information a prompt. Okay, hope you guys understand this. Uh, so once we get the customer information, then we will get the customer payment status as well, the billing history. Okay, so here also we have another table called customer invoice, where you can have the all the details of the customer. Okay, so this table contains the customer id and customer name, payment amount, due date, payment status, etc. So we have created another A prompt to get those information. You can see here, extract the customer payment informations and highlight is there any pending due for them from the customer ID. So the customer ID we already got in the previous the prompt, right? That we will pass here. You can see here the customer ID, and I just attached my customer invoice table here, where I'm just passing my customer ID. Then I will fetch all the payment information, the JSON format. So I'm just testing this prompt so that you guys will understand how it works. You can see here I just passed the customer ID and we got that information: customer name, payment and due date, payment status, etc. Okay, hope till this you guys are clear. Now let's talk about the generative actions. Okay, I created one generative actions. You can see the instruction here. So this is the instruction I gave to my generative action. Okay. So analyze the customer complaints provided and perform the following actions. Okay. So check if there are any known outages in the customer location and determine if the complaint is related to the ongoing outage from the SharePoint list with the affected area column. You can see here, I mean, the telecom company maintain all the network outages in the SharePoint list. You can see here that Bangalore have some outages that also result in the 4 hours. Okay. So generative action itself connect with the SharePoint and it will extract the list information which is more relevant to the customer city. Here that is the Bangalore. So the customer location we will pass here, I mean, as a input, so that the customer location we got from the fetch customer information AI prompt, right? So that information we will pass as a input here. Then email ID, customer ID, and customer payment status, the JSON, and the SharePoint address and the network outage list name. So these are the some parameters we are passing to the generative action. Then once that outages is checked, and also generative action also check verify the customer has paid their dues. Okay. If not, whether confirm whether the pending payment has caused subscription old from the customer data input. I mean, we are passing the customer payment status. With that, it will come to the some conclusion. And the compile provide relevant FAQ related to the customer complaints from the reference document telecom FAQ. Okay. And finally, customized compose a customized response addressing the customer specific, including the customer ID, name, and ID, and the AI suggest response, and send it to I just mentioned my email ID for the testing purpose, and also send it to the my email ID for the review and approval. Okay. So what it will do, it will analyze our all the inputs, whatever we got from the TA prompt, and also it will fetch some information from the SharePoint list. Then it will think through, like, why that complaint is happened, like due to the network outages or maybe the payment issue. Based on that, it will compose some response to the customer and send to the email as well. Okay. And also I have attached some telecom FAQ. Okay. So you can see here, so this is a telecom some FAQ. So generative action also take some reference from that FAQ and give that those FAQ to the customer if something is relevant to their complaint. Okay. That is fine. So once you give the instruction, you have to click the generative actions here. Okay. So if you click the generative action, then generative action suggests some of the parameters here. I mean, you can just assume like this. So some parameters like customer, email, everything automatically suggested based on your input instruction, and all the input values and output values variables are highlighted in the blue dashed border. And if you are interested with those variable, you can click this tick button. Okay. If you don't want, you can remove those suggested input variables, like clicking the delete button, and also you can add your own input values here. So here I have added a couple of input variables, which is not suggested by the generative actions, and but the customer ID, location, email, and all suggested by generative actions only. Okay. And output values is approver email address, request details, request title, and outage status. These are something I would require, and also it's just suggested by generative action. And if you look at here, this is the connectors. So whatever the our business goals, based on that, it will also add the connectors. Okay. Because I have mentioned to get some network outages data from the list, right? So that's what it included SharePoint. And you can see here it added the get items. Okay. And also I mentioned the generative actions to send some email. So that's what it is included Office 365 Outlook, and send email v2 as well. And if you look at the another one, I also asked to send the customized response for the approval, right? That's what it included, the approval. Start with wait for the approval actions. Okay. I hope all this section clear to everyone. And once you are fine with this, then you have to go to the preview section. Let's see, will this time it will work. Okay, to avoid any API issues, I mean now this overall Power Automate API, it seems very slow. So what I will do, I will go ahead and show the some existing runs, how it handle the input parameters, and how it is getting the data from SharePoint, and what is the output it is showing, etc. Okay, so let's go back to the some old run. I'm just opening this. This is the flow I ran on yesterday. So if you look at here, this is the some parameters I have passed to this, generative action from my cloud flow. Okay, so you can see here that SharePoint network outage list name. I have mentioned my list name and SharePoint address, but I did not do any configuration. You know to get the data from the SharePoint. Okay, so that generative action itself take the address from this parameter and the list name from this parameter. Then it will use the get items. Then it will get all the network outages data, which is present in the customer location Bangalore. Okay, so the payment history which we got from the A prompt, and the customer ID location email which we got from the another prompt, right? So in the third process, it is showing like I have retrieved the necessary data from SharePoint list to check my own, any known outages using the customer location. Additionally, I mean, it is giving the instruction whatever we mentioned in the instruction page. Okay, if you look at here, it also check the relevant FAQ related to the customer complaints from the reference document. Then I will verify the customer has paid the dues, determine if any customer is subscribed hold. Finally, okay, this is completely our instruction, whatever we give to the generative actions. If you look at the next step, the customer complaint has been analyzed and a customized response has been sent for the review and approval. Okay, and also it is trying to get the information from the SharePoint. For that, it is using the get items, and these are the parameters it is using. So if you look at here cleverly, it is understand our column name affected area, and also it is applying the customer location Bangalore, right? So from that, it is getting the outages issued data. You can see here. So outages details, affected area Bangalore, severity high, fiber cut, and the date, and when it is resolved, etc. information. Then it is analyzing that get items output, and also it is showing like I have successfully analyzed customer complaint, check for the known outages issue, and verify the customer payment status. And also it included some relevant FAQ to the customer and send for the customer review. If I have configured my ID, right? So it is sent for my review and approval. Okay, and also it is trying to send back the resolution to the customer as well. Okay, and it is so succeed, and also I will show the email what it wrote back. So I dropped this email to the support team, right? So generative action analyzed my request, and also it is interacting with the customer DB data was stable, and outage network outages SharePoint list, and also payment history table. Based on that, it will come to some conclusion, and it mentioned like we have analyzed our complaint regarding the service distribution in Bangalore. Here are the findings. So outage status, they have mentioned there was a high priority service distribution in Bangalore due to the fiber cut, but that issue has been resolved as of January 2025, right? And also they have mentioned some support number if you still facing any issues to call. Okay, and also the payment status, our record indicates that your payment of $100 pending, that is a cost, a subscription old. Make sure to make the payment to restore your service. Okay, apart from that, it also included some of the FAQ which is relevant to the customer. Those FAQ data, generative action taken from the our reference document, telecom FAQ document. Okay, so that the email generative action composed and sent to the customer. And also if you look at here, it is mentioned the approval email address, approval data, and approval request title, and outage status. Okay, so if you look at the overall, we are just giving the only the instruction and passing some input parameters to the generative actions. So generative action itself understand the overall business goal and try to analyze all the input parameters and come to some conclusion why that customer having that wipe issues because of the payment due is pending. That's what the customer is not able to continue the wipe service. That's what generative action mentioned in the email. Okay, so that is what Microsoft mentioned: author, test, executed. So that author means first you have to go to the generative action. Just a minute. So first we have to create the generative action, right? So this is the authored phase. Then they are saying tested, right? So the tested phase means we have to pass some parameters for the testing purpose in the preview panel. So if you click the preview, it will show all the input parameters where you can pass all the parameters and run the flow. Once you get the satisfied and click on the add button, then you can see the customer complaint analysis flow. I mean generative action is created. Then you can connect with your Power Automate Cloud Flow and execute that. Okay, so these are three different phase. Okay, and if you look at the overall limitations for the generative actions, right? So it is currently available in the US tenant only, and that is in the preview stage. And apart from that, if you look at the overall, supporting connectors, now it is currently supporting SharePoint, Office 365, OneDrive, Planner, Microsoft Teams, notification, Office 365 user approval flows, and Excel Online for Business. And also it is currently supporting text based input only, so which means you can't pass images for the generative action as a input. Okay, and also if you cancel the cloud flow from the parent flow, it will not cancel the generative action, so you have to go and separately cancel it. Okay, that's another limitation. And if you look at the FAQ stage, the reference here, you can able to add only the three documents that also you need to upload in the OneDrive. Then you can show that reference here. Okay, you can see here it will redirect to the only the OneDrive folder. Okay, and also this is the limitation, we can keep only the three documents as a reference. Okay, apart from that, I think we have covered most of the things here. Yeah, we have covered everything. I hope this video is very helpful. I think if Microsoft added kind of other connectors like the Dataverse table, or maybe the run desktop flows in the generative action itself, we can clearly tell the our instruction to the generative actions for different use cases. Like if something missing, you can go and check in the desktop flow, right? For example, if your some invoice is mismatching, or if you want to check the vendor validation, right? So those times if we require any kind of RPA stuff, then we don't have the right current now, I mean we don't have that options, right? But I think those options are in the pipeline, definitely. Probably we can see the better generative actions in the upcoming days. I hope this video is helpful for everyone. We will catch up again with another interesting episode. Thank you everyone for watching.